72L, take 5.
Read camera.
All right, here we go. Harrison, you ready? Action. I really wanted to do a movie that was all action and all fun and very escapist, like movies I was raised on when I was a kid.
I just finished Star Wars and I was on the beach in Hawaii, and Steve came over to visit. He was telling me how he wanted to do an action-adventure film like James Bond films. And I said, I've got just the thing for you. I happen to have one in my pocket. And I told him the story, and he said, that's great. I want to do that. I like that. And that's really where it all started.
The roots of Indiana Jones grew from George Lucas's imagination, but they really extend back even beyond that to a time when we were children and those great Republic serials of the early 1950s were so popular in movie theaters everywhere. And I think when you go out on a limb to either reintroduce an old genre or invent a new one, it's scary because a film like Raiders is an animal unto itself, and there was nothing they ever had to compare it to. George and I were able to compare it to Tailspin Tommy and Spy Smasher and The Mark of Zorro and all the great serials of the late 40s and early 50s. In the old-time serials, a hero in jeopardy was left hanging for about a week. The audience, you see, would forget the details of his dilemma. So by the following Saturday, the outcome of his plight could be so easily cheated. And how often did I hope to cheat on something they wouldn't let me cheat on because the movie was being told in one continuous 2-hour episode. It's hard, it's difficult, because I would constantly, with George Lucas and the writers, paint myself into corners. And that hurts sometimes, because you get into a corner and you'd see, how am I going to get out of this? And sometimes the best way to get out of a corner is to run so quickly through the wet paint that you hope people won't see your footprints leading off into the sunset.
Good luck on your first day.
Thank you. Good luck. This is nice for the first ride, I think. We got to Sri Lanka and we got to the location. There was the same camera crew, the same sound crew, the same grips, electricians. It was like a family reunion.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Get that bottle in, Robert.
It was just like 3 years had never transpired between film 1 and film 2, and we were all the same family, and the memories were rekindled in 5 minutes. With one big difference, we were not remaking Raiders of the Lost Ark, we were making a new movie called Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Listen, the first shot after lunch will be off that big rock looking this way. So we clean the setup. Right, 1 hour for lunch now. Go.
Sri Lanka lies off the southern tip of India and has not been used a great deal for movie locations.
The most famous picture that had been shot in Sri Lanka before we came here for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom was Bridge on the River Kwai,
which shot on many of the same locations as we are using.
Check. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just checking on that boy.
Okay?
The cliched sounds of the Tarzan movie every day would greet me as I woke up in the morning. And I always thought somebody, you know, at the studios in Hollywood in the 30s and 40s would invent these strange jungle sounds.
But in fact, what I heard on location was every cliched sound that's been in every Tarzan film since the beginning of sound in movies.
George had called Harrison and said, Harrison, you know, we're thinking about setting this thing in the jungle. Anything you particularly care for or don't care for? And Harrison said, well, you guys do whatever you want, but I think we should have elephants in this picture. And Sri Lanka has a lot of elephants.
Just like that.
He will be giving all the instructions.
So the elephant will just go without my having to
Because
do
he
it.
says if it hurts, he might become a little unruly.
Oh, no, I won't hurt it. Huh?
Falling elephant.
You think it's a falling elephant?
You can hang on to the rope, not that you have the rope.
Harrison Ford brought the character of Indiana Jones to life, a character that had just been thinly drawn on paper, a character who was defined by his heroics and by his sort of jungle smarts in finding clues and solving riddles and finally getting to that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And that was just a function of the structure of a script. What Harrison did was he gave Indiana Jones character.
We walked from here.
Very nice, Harrison, very nice.
Lovely.
Cut. Lovely.
Hang on for number, please, David.
Good, Harrison. A little smile, too. I saw that in your eyes.
Print that one.
Very nice.
How's the water? Yeah, we took
Glenn
it out of
testing
there.
the bottom of the water because when you land in
Yeah, anytime you like.
your tush, wants to make sure it's okay.
Oh, I'm landing on my tush?
On your back, your tush. Which is, you just
Kate Capshaw is the Gene Arthur of this movie.
And I knew she had a sense of humor because she made me laugh when I tested her. I knew she had a sense of humor about herself. She wouldn't be afraid to play an entire scene with the lemon meringue pie stuck to her face or mud all over her body.
How about I hate it outside?
Hate it outside. I hate being outside.
But she brought, you know, I'm a showgirl in Shanghai and look at me in the jungle and made a meal out of it as an actress.
I need something. I need a prop for some frustration. Unless you want to just slap
Well,
the
I was
water.
going to slap the
Slap
water.
the water, like a little girl.
And I
mud.
would go also, I would love to try to throw some at him.
That has to be when you first come in. And action.